Hey, Minifish. June 8th, 2017. I got a mind bender for you today. A few days ago, I made a video. Pontiac, Illinois, Abe Lincoln, Route 66, so on and so forth. And I was pointing out how in Pontiac, Illinois' wiki page, there is absolutely no mention of Abe Lincoln. There's the courthouse in Pontiac. And there is a statue of Abe Lincoln where he practiced law in the courthouse in Pontiac, Illinois. Yet, no mention of him anywhere. Notable people, nothing, nowhere. However, Pontiac did host Revolution, a post-apocalyptic television series, and Supernatural, a, for lack of a better term, demonic-based television show. And so I'm like, what the heck? Well, Abraham Lincoln's the 16th president, and I don't know why that stuck in my head, but it did. And so the next day, there's a article on Drudge again about this place called Asbury Park in New Jersey, and it's been named the coolest small town in America. And the only reason I clicked on it is because for a long period of time in my life, I lived very close to a place called Asbury Grove in Massachusetts. And so that caused me to click on it. And then as soon as I start reading it, I'm like, wait a minute. You got 16,000 population, 16, Lincoln, 16th president, 1.6 square miles, 16, again. I'm like, what the heck? So I go to their wiki page. And I start poking around, and yeah, sure enough, everything at 1.6 square miles, except check this out, the elevation, 16 feet. Total population, 16,116. And it just goes on and on and on. So I'm like, what's up with the 16s, man? And the architecture there in Asbury Park is quite interesting, to be honest with you. That they have a convention hall there that is straight out of a Masonic hall or something. But regardless, so all this stuff is going on. 16, 16, 16. So I'm on the Tor browser, and Bing Maps is the only web-based map that seems to work decent on my Tor browser. So I go into Bing Maps, and I get Asbury Park down here, and I want to go towards New York City. Just straight towards New York City. Straight line. And 16 miles brings me right here. Right where this, see this is a trident. It's a dock, but it's a trident. That's what it is. And I come in and look what I find. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. There's an obscured eye, nose, mouth right there. His chin, you can see the shadow down there. Do you see him? Because he's there. Nostril. There's his mouth right there. His eye. There's his other eye. I hope you can see him. I can't get rid of these lines, but trust me when I tell you, he's there. That is Lucifer, my friends. That's who that is. That's exactly what that is. And I hope you can see him. Again, there's his eye. There's his other eye. His nose. His mouth. Very clear. Once you just look at him a little bit, it becomes just ridiculously, almost creepy clear. But that's not it. I go to my Google Maps here, my Google Earth, and I go back out that direction. I make sure that that's where the 16 miles takes me, and sure enough, if I trace out that line to you there, that goes to Asbury Grove, Asbury Park rather, 16 miles exactly. There's the properties of the measurement, 16 miles. Exactly from the center of town there at the convention center, at the big giant Masonic hall they got there. and it lands smack dab in this trident. Now, there's no devil in this one, but there is an image in there. You can see the eye and nose, and mouth, nonetheless. And this harbor also contains another devil, which I've shown before, which can't be denied. It's impossible. It's a devil. That is a horn. This is his horn, his eye, his mouth. That is a devil. Go on Google Earth and look for yourself. He's there. But check this out. From the center of the trident, 16 miles exactly, brings us to a very, very interesting place called Governor's Island. And what's on Governor's Island? Well, that's what's on Governor's Island. And if you can't see it, I'll crank up some lines here for you. You see it now? Okay. It's exactly 16 miles. And what happens when we go 1.6 miles from there to there into Manhattan? Well, it takes us exactly to ground zero, to their little satanic reflecting pools or whatever the heck they use these things for. But it takes 1.6 miles exactly to the center here. And it doesn't stop there. We go from the center of ground zero, in between the two satanic scrying mirrors, or whatever you want to call them, 1.6 miles, the Arch of Washington, which is the Arch of Titus. It's 1.6 miles. And there it is, the Washington Arch, the one that shows up in the that clip everybody uses of New York getting flooded out and the guy sitting there reading the paper, and the Arch of Washington is right behind him. So what, you might say? Well, let's go from the Arch of Washington another 1.6 miles. And it just lands us kind of, you would think, in the middle of nowhere. This is the New York City Library, the big library again that was in that same movie, I believe, where they all hid and burned the books the day after tomorrow. That's that building right there. Well, right here is Grand Central Station, and right here is Penn Station. Okay? Right underneath the ground here is a whole crapload of work going on. In fact, it was the very article and video I did the other day speaking about the subways in Manhattan. You remember that? This one here? Member? Huh? Member? Does anybody remember that one? That was a creep fest, man. Let me see if I can find it. This one here, remember this? This is our little demon subway tunnel here. You got it. You must remember that. With all our little demon devil friends in there. Just as plain can be. Oh yeah, that's the same place. This tunnel that they're talking about in this article, right here, is located right here. This is where they're working on, right between Grand and Penn, under the library, right there. You can make what you like of that. This is how things are shown to me, and I'm certain that it has meaning. What that is, I really don't know. But there you have it. I will say this, before I go and do any of these videos, and when I come across stuff like this, I go straight to the Father and ask for discernment and to only speak truth. It's just a very peculiar set of circumstances we have here, isn't it? Peace and grace, Manny Fish.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God,